damn, that was just perfect until that last fucking verse. Just, oh, I don't know what to do. I mean, that was literally perfect. That was the first time I ever just went through, didn't fuck it up. Until like the last inconsequential point there at the end, just doing I was going to repeat the chorus. What a bummer. But anyway, that's a tune that I heard from Taj Mahal on a Taj Mahal album that came out in like 86 or 7. And Taj Mahal is just a great, great, great artist. He's from Springfield, Massachusetts. Went to UMass, Amherst, as did I. And but he's been around since the 60s. And he was in the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus. And he was fairly well known through the 70s, I believe. Then he kind of became a little bit obscure in the 80s. I think this album may have been kind of his return to active recording and stuff. And he lived in Kauai for a while. His daughter moved out there. I think she was in the service or something, but she had a family out there, and he lived out in Hawaii. You got some cats just going at it hardcore out here. Wow. Wow. All my cats want to go see what's going on. I want to go and see what's going on. I don't know if that was a fight or if it was sex. We got cats running all around. Exciting day in the neighborhood there. So Taj, and I got into Taj, and I think, I've always been a huge Stones fan, so I think I heard about him being in the Rock and Roll Circus. Then I got that. I remember having that Greatest Hits. His Greatest Hits album was a huge album in college, and my little group of friends there. And that song Leaving Trunk, just an awesome, just a funky, bluesy track, man. And so many good tunes. Chevrolet, which the Radiators do a great cover of, gonna buy you a Chevrolet, gonna buy you a Chevrolet. Gonna buy you a Chevrolet just to get back with you. So that's a great tune. I mean, so many. Taj is just so many. He did a great version of Frankie in Johnny. That just another one of those kind of traditional staples of the folk. Frankie and Johnny was lovers. Man, how they did fight. He did a great version with the Pointer Sisters, I believe, with the background. They do a lot of cool like oohs in the background and stuff. So Taj is huge, and I've seen him several times. In fact, one of my greatest concert experiences, all my Grateful Dead concerts kind of sit there, They're one thing, and they were a unique experience of wonder. But I was lucky enough to work in Hawaii in 2008, and I, right within the first week, the Taj Mahal was playing at the Aloha Clock Tower in Honolulu. So I rented a moped that night, and the traffic's pretty crazy in Hawaii. So I'm driving around on this moped to the show, and I was thinking it's going to be half hour, 45 minutes if I'm lucky, but still going to be great. It was awesome. Like, small venue, it was outside, but, there couldn't have been more than, I don't know, 200 to 400 people maybe. It was general admission. And he played for about 2 hours and just played everything. There was 3 ukuleles up there. Carlos Alvarez, or Carlos Andrade, I think. He wrote the song Moonlight Lady, one of my favorite, just puts me right there. And just awesome. Just an awesome show, an awesome night, having the moped, just a great call on my part. Just a wonderful experience. And I've seen him quite a few times. Most recently I drove over to the east coast of Florida, I think Melbourne. And there's a kind of one of those uppity places that I don't really like going to concerts. Everybody's quiet. I'm the youngest person there. And in fact, the douchebag next to me, I take like a picture. He's like, I hope that's going to be the last one of those. And it doesn't even make any noise or nothing. I just fucking, just a douchebag. I took some more, but I didn't do it with the freedom I feel I deserve. But so that was, but he could barely walk. I mean, he's a big guy. He's got to be 6'4" or 5. And I was just surprised though that, it was like move over to the piano, could barely walk, and he just didn't do the variety of tunes I wanted either. Like I had my one yell out was Johnny Too Bad, from the Harder They Come soundtrack, and he just seemed to have his set list and it didn't really matter, so I kind of didn't. I was a little put off. It just seemed to be too many of the expected tunes, And so that'll probably be the last time I see him, because I don't know if he'll be able to tour, first of all, but unless it's like a nice outdoor venue of some sort. But that song, of course, that one verse there at the end, and that's what I get a kick out of. Like, you do these songs that you like. I've always liked that, because if you listen to his version, it's very upbeat. It sounds like, it's like, it could be a synthesizer, but like kind of that steel drum sort of thing. It's a very bouncy, upbeat tune. I've liked it all the time, and the sentiment, just the positivity. Great tune. And but I never really noticed that last verse is clearly, when a woman has a child, before that child is born, he or she is somebody, could be perceived as controversial. And Taj did not write it. It was written by the Mighty Shadow. I actually researched that today. And the Shadow, the mighty part was kind of added on. He did not take that. But he was from Trinidad and Tobago, which is kind of the home of the carnival in the Caribbean, in South America area, in the Caribbean. And he's one of those they're kind of like kind of like rappers almost, but kind of a little more lyrical and less of the pathetic stuff about violence and stuff, that really turns me off from the hip-hop scene, and I just think it's pathetic. And I believe they wear their pants like normally too. That's another thing that's kind of sad. But the Mighty Sparrow is the most famous of these sort of singers. They make like these long songs where they rhyme everything and call out certain stuff, and the Mighty Sparrow is mentioned in a Clash song by Joe Strummer, and I've tried to find that all day. I know it, but I can't find it, which song it is. But the Shadow, so he's basically, and he died in 2018. The Mighty Sparrow is still alive. He's 87. But so he's this black guy from Trinidad Tobago, and they're pretty religious there. So take that as it is. But it's funny, you go to sing a song, and all of a sudden, I remember when I did In the Summertime by Bob Dylan, just a great chorus, in the summertime, oh, and great with the harmonica. But the verses of that are pretty religious, and Dylan recorded that song. That came on the album after his 2 totally overtly Christian albums, when he had the Born Again phase, and then Shot of Love was the album after those 2. And there was a couple songs that still had some of the religion, but he started to get back into the more secular songs. But that song, when I was going to do that one and wrote down all the words for the verses, I'm like, there was a lot of religious imagery there that I didn't realize, So you go to do these songs, and next thing you know, there's a verse like that, like about, I suppose, the abortion issue. And that kind of came up in yesterday's rant, and I don't know. I think you should have an opinion on that. And for me, don't have to go here, but I do think you can't just walk away from it. My natural feeling, like the feeling I get just without any outside coercion on just how I feel, I do feel that once that thing starts growing in there, it is somebody. So I kind of generally am against. You can do what you want. here, this is my feeling, but my money, there shouldn't be any of my tax money that goes to pay for that for you. You want to make that decision and live with the consequences of it, and however you feel about it and reason it out, I'm okay with that. I do agree that I shouldn't necessarily have any say on what you do. But that being said, my money shouldn't go towards it. And you have to realize that I would say you are killing something. So I just think there needs to be some recognition that there needs to be a responsibility about how'd you get in that situation. You let some loser stick it in there, and that's where you're at. There's obviously other circumstances that I wouldn't disagree with and can see the reasonableness of that, but just as a throwaway thing, I think it's pretty. It doesn't sit well with me, and that's just my natural, uncoerced feeling about it. It's not something that should be celebrated or forced on people, So I don't think you can just walk away from that and avoid that issue. So I don't have to say anything about that here. But I think you should face shit head on. And this, if nothing else, I'm about expressing my opinion. And again, only stupid people don't change their minds. So, and that's from Boutros Ghali. If y'all recall, he was a Secretary General of the UN in the late 80s, 90s, I believe. And he said he was going to retire. And I think there was some deal with the Clinton wanting him to retire. And then he changed his mind. And he said, only stupid people don't change their mind. And I grabbed that. I've been saying that since then. It was like 94 or something. I'm like, that's good. And because he's got such a great name, we're going to always use that. Boutros Ghali. Only stupid people. And it's true. So spare me, and I'm trying to get subscribers. Again, subscribe if you appreciate somebody who's not afraid to express their opinion. And turn you on to great music. So I just, I am that person. I have the right to offend you. And at the same time, I don't think it's presented in an offending way. I mean, sometimes these politicians, I do not respect politicians. And until they give me a reason to, I will not. So I'm going to probably always talk about them in bad ways. But other than that, I like to think I don't denigrate people too much. I'm not a big fan of celebrities either. And athletes, rich athletes who pontificate. We're all welcome to our opinion, but you do have a responsibility when millions of people care about what you say. Like, nobody cares what I say, so I can say it. So you can say, and I'm aware of the, is it dichotomy there? That I feel because nobody gives a shit what I say, and I'm nobody, that I can say what I want. And, but I just think somebody like the guy who plays for the Lakers who's really famous, I'm not even going to use his name. You know who I'm talking about. I just think I don't think he's a good person at all. And spare me the charity shit. Everybody in sports who makes millions of dollars in organizations, in Walmart and all those people, they all participate in charity work, and the money and what they do does help people. But they're not doing it. There's very few of them who would do that unless it was something that you kind of have to do for your image. And you're not going to convince me otherwise on that. So it's not that it doesn't help people, and it's still a good thing, but that ain't what they're really about. And I refuse to accept that they are. And, some of them do. Some of them really are. Or they're happy to do it, and maybe a lot of them, and I hope they all do feel good about it. But like a Walmart, they don't give a shit. They've destroyed, and we're going off, but they've destroyed this country happily, and like they jumped right on with the flag and the soldiers and shit, but they've destroyed fucking Main Street America. That's undeniable, and it's just rotten. And the people that they are just bad business, bad products. And God, don't shop there if you can. And I do go there, not very often. But there are a few things, and occasionally it's the only game in town, which is right back to why the problem. But so, but everybody is somebody. I guess even that sentiment's kind of, is that like all lives matter? Is that a problem? Is that a problem for you because you're not bowing to the correct denomination in that sentiment? So I believe that, and believe me, people. This whole race thing is BS. It's all about class and the class in power, the liberal elitist. They're trying to make you think it's about race because I find it's much more of an individual basis and the assholes come in all colors. And believe it or not, I'm not one. I don't really think I am. I say some pretty fucking racy shit. And I mean racy more like, being like asshole or flipping somebody off. But I talk to everybody and anybody who wants to talk, And I used to drive for one of those services, and believe me, I never didn't pick somebody up, and I had some of the most interesting encounters with people that the majority of you people would absolutely run the other way from. And I didn't back down from anything. And for instance, I'll do a quick story there. One night about 2 a.m., I used to work like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Tampa, Florida. So I go to pick up this guy, and it's at a Wawa in the worst part of Tampa. And his name was, it was just clearly a black guy, So and this is the worst part of Tampa, 2 a.m. So I go, and because I always did. And he gets in, he's got like the brand new Los Angeles Dodgers shirt on. I think he had a Red Sox hat, that too. And the Dodgers had just lost in the playoffs. And I'm like, oh, tough loss. He's like, oh, I don't follow them. I just sell these shirts. And I'm like, oh, okay, So I'm listening to a Ronnie Wood album, solo album of Ronnie Wood's. I've got my own album to do or one of those. And, I love Ronnie Wood's stuff is really good. I listen to that regularly, all his solo albums. And there's this tune on there, and he's like, oh, I'm a musician, and it's like, I rap. He's like, you want me to rap for you? I'm like, what, to this? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, okay. So he starts rapping along to this Ronnie Wood song playing, and he's rapping, and we just had a great conversation. He ended up tipping me, and we were talking about music, and I was just open. It didn't matter, And I had this other black guy, this DJ I picked up at a strip club in Tampa on Dale Mabry. He was the DJ there. What was his name? DJ 9 or something like that was it. But I go to pick him up, and they have a taco truck in the parking lot there, and he's like, you want some tacos? I'm like, sure. So he buys me tacos. We drive back, great conversation. He gives me his phone number, not in that way, but he's like, you ever want to check out what I do? Just give me a call. I'll set you up. I'll take care of you. I never did because I couldn't, I'm not too into. I would have wanted to leave after 10 minutes, and that would have been ruder than not calling, I think. But it was just totally pleasant. Dropped him off in one of the scariest places in Tampa, but totally like if you're outgoing and just friendly and want to talk, I'm there with you. I don't give a shit what color you are or nothing else, man. So, and I've lived it. And I know most of the people, virtue signalers who pontificate on all that shit have not. And I know that. So, yeah, everybody is somebody. Nobody is nobody. Peace out.